Everybody, it's time for the shop. Everybody, it's time for the shop.
Hey. Welcome to another episode of Decide, Commit, and Resolve, The Shop. You guys, listen, I am so excited. This is our debut. This is our first episode. Man, I am hyped. I'm telling you, I am so excited. For several different reasons. Simply because this is a vision that's coming to pass. Also because we're going to actually be talking about some stuff that's going to really help people. It's going to help them grow. It's going to strengthen them. It's going to do a lot of things. And that's been my prayer when I got this vision, that this show really do what God intends for it to do. So guys, I'm happy. I'm excited. Man, it is a good thing. So I just want to say hello to all you out there. God bless you. What's going on? What's up? Just to give you a little background, the shop is an extension of Decide, Commit, and Resolve. For a while we was going live, doing different things on the live show. But we decided to take a different route and go to a podcast. And we're going to have different guests on here. We're going to be talking about different topics. And it's really going to reach people from all age groups, guys. All age groups, all demographics. We're going to be dealing with a lot of topics. And some of it's going to be deep. Some is going to be serious. But the reason why we want to go that route is because we want to help reach everybody. That's our goal, to help reach everybody. So I'm excited, guys. I'm pumped up, and I hope you are too. And I just want to give a hand clap, a shout out, some praise to our guest today, Tamira Mosley. Everybody clap for Tamira. Welcome, Tamira, to the show. I really appreciate you coming on. This is big. This is a big thing. And guys, before we go any further, let me give you a little background about Tamira. First of all, she's my wife. This is my lady, my boo right here. And, secondly, I just want guys to give you some background about her. Tamira is from Paterson, New Jersey. She was born and raised. That's where she grew up at. City girl, but we done countrified her a little bit, so I'm kind of glad of that. But also, too, Tamira has a lot of different endeavors that she works on. One of the things that she does, one of her business adventures is she makes candied popcorn. Woo! And it is the bomb, guys, I'm telling you. So if you want to reach out to her about candied popcorn, you can reach her on her social media pages, all that cool stuff. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's amazing. She also does fruit baskets and stuff like that. She has a real good eye design. Very talented. So anything that you're looking for, as far as that's concerned, Easter baskets, all that cool stuff, she does it. This your lady right here. This your go-to person. I'm telling you guys, she is that lady. So I just want to give you a little bit of information about her and what she does. So our topic today, and it's a serious topic, and something that's dear to my heart, and we just want to go ahead and jump into it. But our topic today is how to overcome the grief of losing a mother. And guys, I'm telling you, it's serious, because there's so many people who out there who've lost mothers and are still grieving. Some of them could be as close as yesterday. Some of them could be as long as 20 years, but they're still grieving, and because they haven't really learned how to manage what they're going through and overcome it. So I wanted to bring this topic to the forefront so that we could work on trying to help people to overcome that obstacle in their lives. And I'm telling you guys, it's tough. Me, myself, I've been there. I know what it's like. So we want to go ahead and get right to it. So Tamira, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, my name is Tamira Mosley. I'm a native of Paterson, New Jersey. Yay, Paterson. I've been here in the South since 1999. I have 3 children. We moved here from South Carolina. Me and the 3 kids, we moved down here with the children, and I'm still here.
All right. So how was that transition from New Jersey to South Carolina?
Ooh, that was hard. That was hard. Because when I first moved down here, we lived in Sumter. And I was like traumatized when I went to the mall because it was small. Little itty bitty mall.
Yeah.
You know, I was used to the big malls and stuff. So it was really, it was difficult. Just being away from family, period, that was difficult.
So we done got this city slicker all the way down here to the south. And we done countrified her a little bit. But as you can see, you know, transition is always tough. So I'm glad you're here, though. I really am. And so let's go into this a little bit here. Tell me about Mrs. Margaret McDaniel. Tell me a little bit about her.
My mom, she's a phenomenal woman. Awesome, just full of wisdom, always ready to help where needed. She was the bridge that kept the family together. She was the glue, if I would say the glue. Family functions, she would just, it was always about family with my mother. My mother was very family orientated. She worked a lot. She raised her girls. My mother, it was 3 of us, total of 3. I'm the youngest, the baby girl. But we, you know, just seeing my mother work like she did. She always worked more than one job, and you know, she would always do extra with the grands and stuff, and you know, she was just that type of woman. It was always about family.
And that's interesting to say that because, you know, my mother, before she passed, she was that same kind of lady. Always wanted the family to get together. Whenever there was a cookout, whenever there was a family reunion, whatever was going on, she wanted to be in the mix of it. She wanted to make sure that all the kids, grandkids, everybody got together. So my mother was that same type of woman. So I can tell that she definitely had a major impact on you.
Oh yeah, she did. She had a major impact on me and my children. We still talk about her today, and it's certain things that I do that my daughter might say, "Ma, that remind me of Grandma," or Josh and Cameron. You know, they say different things or whatever. You know, but she had a major impact in my life, and you know, even now, the age where I'm at now, I find myself doing things as my mother would do them because you know, she was just a big role model for me. She was a very how can I put it? She was just that girl.
Yeah,
you know, she was. We were close. I mean, we talked 3, 4, 5 times a day. Some days, you know, be on the phone back then when Days of Our Lives and All My Children
I remember them shows.
and all the stories.
Yeah.
We would be on the phone, just talking to each other or watching the stories together. But we was on the phone, and that was just what we did.
So now you let a cat out the bag. I know you probably thought you slipped it over my eyes or whatever, but you didn't. You said you are baby girl.
Baby girl.
So you got spoiled.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
Rotten to the core. And it was not just from my mother. It was my oldest sister, which she'll be 65 this year. And my other sister that's already went on to be with the Lord, she was 16 years older than me. So it was a big age gap there with my siblings.
I got you. See, and I have to still deal with some of that spoiled rottenness myself as her husband, y'all. But being that young, and you had older sisters, so they were kind of like mom too then. In a way.
Right. When my mother worked a lot, I spent a lot of time with Vanessa and Alicia. My sister Alicia, I had family members, the Davises, the Barbies. We would always go to the projects, which was right over the wall from where I was at, because that's where the city projects was at, CCP projects. I lived in Riverview Towers, so right across the wall. I was always either over there by my cousins and them all the time, just hanging out with my cousins and hanging out and stuff. We were real tight, close-knit family. You know, my sister Alicia, you know, when you hang out with her, you was going to have a whole lot of fun. Vanessa always had structured things for us to do or whatever, but, you know, my sisters played a big part in my upbringing.
I got you. So this is really a segue into this next question. So what was your childhood like with your mom?
My childhood, it was fun. I had a lot of good times, you know. I was raised it was sort of like a project, but it was high-rise building from the basement to the 16th floor, and we lived at that time on the 6th floor. And my mom, she would always work, and you know, I watched her. You know, she would come home from work, cook dinner, You know, we would do things together, watch TV shows together, play cards together. You know, we would just, just do the norm because it was a single. My mom was raising us by herself, so just to watch my mom do all of that and still keep going. And then when my mom couldn't make stuff at my school, my sisters would come. Wow. That's when my sisters would, drop in, come check me out at school, see what's going on or whatever. So that's how we made it work.
And that's awesome because really it was like having three moms in one almost like.
Right.
So you had all of this influence growing up. That's awesome. Looking at the other mothers that grew up in Patterson, what do you feel stood out the most about your mother in comparison to the other mothers?
A lot of my friends, some of them did go to church and some of them didn't. Mm-hmm. But my mother always believed in putting God first and praying. And that was one thing that was a strong connection. That's where I really, learn how to pray and understand the power of prayer. Seeing my mother just get on her knees and pray. And it wasn't no silent prayer. She would pray out loud, whatever it was. And, she just talked to me about prayer. And really, that's what she had to stand on was prayer.
And, I think that's probably, from me talking to a lot of younger people, probably one of the most important things that is missing in the family structure, in the family household, is young mothers really going to God in prayer and praying to God out loud. I mean, it's so important. That's a real important piece of the stability and growth of the single family home, is somebody having the strength to be able to take all their burdens to God. So, I mean, it sounds like that you guys had a real strong spiritual impact in your household. That's awesome. So how long has it been since Miss Margaret passed?
It's been over 17 years now.
Over 17 years. That's interesting. I know for my mom, it's been going on 8 for my mom. And I can just look back on things from yesterday, and from back then, and it seemed like it was yesterday that I talked to her. It seemed like it was yesterday that we laughed and cut up. There will always be stuff that I will never forget, that she said, and all the laughs and stuff. So I can imagine, even though it's been that length of time, that you still got a lot of strong memories.
Oh yeah. A lot of strong memories, I don't know, it's just trying to get my words together.
I got you.
I really miss my mother a lot. I really, really do. And I didn't think this was going to happen, but, I really miss her a lot.
Yeah. And we all do. And that's the reason for this particular podcast, because we want people to be able to connect and relate to that void. Because for those of us who have lost a mother, that's something that's hard to replace. You can't replace it.
No, you can't.
So there'll always be that space of emptiness for mom. So I definitely relate. How did this loss impact you?
Ooh, it really impacted my life because when my mother passed away, I was still kind of getting used to being in the South, and I went home a lot because the kids were smaller. So we moved down here. Jocelyn was 2.
Yeah.
So I would go back and forth, fly back and forth, because my mom, she was battling breast cancer.
Yeah.
So I would go back and forth quite a bit. Me and my sisters would, get together, take her to the doctor and stuff like that. And it was a very aggressive cancer.
Yeah.
And at that time, that's when she was doing stem cells. So, you had to make sure she was not around sick people and this and that. So it was really difficult seeing my mom go through that. That really impacted my life in a way where, it was kind of hard I was excited to go home, but sad to leave when I had to go. And then when I would go, I would try to stay like a week or 2.
Gotcha.
Or whatever, and then come back, down here, because Josh, at that time, he's the oldest, and, he was in school and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was pretty difficult.
And see, I can relate to that because when my mom was sick, and I'll never forget when she was diagnosed with the breast cancer, and they basically told her it was so aggressive that she had 3 to 6 months to live. And that very week, when we got the diagnosis, I got put in jail. And so the time that I was in jail was the time that the cancer was constantly progressing. And there were a lot of things that I missed during that time frame that I really wish I could have seen. But I truly believe that God was really preparing me for her homegoing, because it didn't impact me so hard as far as the loss is concerned. But I definitely understand where you're coming from. Some people go into a state of depression when they lose a loved one. Did you experience any of that during that time?
Oh yeah, I went into a deep depression. It was really hard, coming back down here and just wrapping my mind around the very thought that my mother's not here. And me and my mom would sit and we would have conversations about her leaving here, and how she wanted me to be, and how it was gonna be and how strong I needed to be. But it's never reality until it happens.
Man, that is so true. When I got out of jail and I came here, and my mother was staying here with you. When I got here, my mother could still talk, but I could tell that the cancer was really spreading. And in 3 days, my mother got to the point where she could barely talk. That was something to see. And even though I was prepared, but it's still, you ain't really fully prepared for that type of transition. And I could have possibly been in a state of depression, in some ways. I believe that I was. I believe that it did hit me in ways that I probably didn't talk about much. So I definitely understand. And that's the thing, a lot of people go through this when they lose loved ones. I'm telling you guys, never be afraid to get help. That's what it's out here for, is to help you to deal and overcome those losses. So important. But we as blacks, a lot of times, we feel like we can do it on our own, and we all right. And I don't need, and I smoke a blunt, or I drink a bottle of liquor, I'm good. But no, that's not the answer. The only thing that does is mask the problem. We have to deal with those issues. We really have to deal with them. So, how did you cope with the pain of it all?
Having small children, and then my niece ended up coming to stay with me as well. The children, I just kind of sunk myself into the children.
Gotcha.
We attend church a lot. I had a good group of friends here. Good church family. When I did, because at the time when I lost my mother, I was not a member of Bethlehem. Gotcha. And I ended up going to Bethlehem shortly after my mother passed, and then just connecting with people there. But my children, and it's funny you say that, because my daughter, when she was younger, she used to just do things, and I know it was nobody but God. When I was going through at the worst time, she would just come get right in the bed by me and lay by me. And she'd say, "Mommy, it's gonna be okay." And she didn't know what was going on, but she just would say stuff to encourage me, and it was just like, wow, And she always had like a strong sense of peace that rests on her. And I just would like to just cuddle up and be next to her or whatever. And she spent a lot of time with my mother before my mother passed away.
And that's really important when you're going through that process, is to stay connected. And you mentioned something about, you wasn't a member of Bethlehem, but you were going to church and stuff. So it's obviously there was a lot of that spiritual connection to God that helped you get through this.
It did, but for the most part, I did go through a strong battle with depression.
Okay.
I did, because, even on my father's side, it's a bunch of us, but everybody's scattered. So not having any real family here, it really just took a toll on me to have to come back. And then, God will give you some strength from out of nowhere.
Yes, he will.
You know, at the time when my mother was in the hospital to the time she transitioned,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it was nobody but God. But when you come back
Mm-hmm.
and it's that quiet time and it's a song or you may smell something that may
Yeah.
trigger a memory,
Mhm.
and it's just like, you know, you at this place like, what do I do?
Yeah.
You know, who do I talk to?
Mhm.
And then you shower with like 5 different emotions within
Yeah.
30 minutes, and you just like, what do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
You know, I was 26 years old when my mother passed.
And see, that's a lot for a person to carry when they don't really know what direction to go, what to say, what, you know, who to reach out to, you know. And a lot of times we close ourselves off to other people who may be trying to reach out simply because of all of these emotions that are going through.
Right.
You know what I mean? And guys, that's the reason why we're having this conversation. Because if you're having these thoughts and you're having these emotions, we want you to reach out to somebody. Please do. Please do. So, what do you feel like got you through those challenges?
It was nobody but God, because at times I didn't even know how to pray for myself.
Mm.
I was going through so much depression and taking medication that the doctor would give me in hopes that it would make me feel well. And,
Yeah.
you know, going through this, and then next thing you know, I'm taking pain pills for what? Because now I'm hooked on pain pills.
Come on.
So I went through a battle with being depressed and addicted to pain pills at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was abusing the pills to deal with the loss of my mother.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know? And it was nobody but God that kept me.
Nobody but
It
God.
was nobody but God.
Guys, I'm telling you, God is so powerful and amazing, you know, because even for me, going through my transition, losing my mother, you know, going into the streets and stuff that I knew, stuff that was comfortable for me, going to drugs, that was comfortable for me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people do that. They go to what's comfortable for them because they don't want to deal with the pain of it. But guys, in order for us to overcome that place of losing a mother, we got to deal with the pain of it. And it's okay to feel it. It's okay to feel it. But it's hard.
It is.
It's really hard.
It is.
And that's why we have to lean on the strength of God. We have to. So what you're saying your mother gave you in your early stages really helped you for this.
Right. Right.
Wow.
At that time, I was so immature, I couldn't put into action the stuff that she was telling me.
Mhm.
It wasn't until I started maturing more in God that I
Okay.
realized what she really was saying to me. Then I had to just go back and remember, this is what I have to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to do this way.
Mhm.
I have to do this like this. I can't react on my emotions, and just because I'm going through, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't until I made a conscious decision to get off of those pills,
Mhm.
then I'm sober minded. I can think better.
Yeah.
You know, and it was times where I slipped and went back and forth. But I'm telling you, if there's anybody that's listening to this and you lose someone, whether if it's a child, a mother, a father, don't be so quick to want to take everything the doctor gives you. Go into some counseling. Talk to somebody that can pray with you, somebody that can show you something in the scripture, somebody that will labor with you in prayer so that you can get your strength back, because taking pills and mixing pain medication with it and drinking is not the answer.
Guys, that is some real serious wisdom right there. I hope you guys grab on to that. So what role does your faith in God play in your everyday struggles?
Oh, my faith in God is growing more and more.
Mhm.
Now, I wasn't all the way there before. I ain't gonna sit there and fake the front like, I was there. But
Yeah.
I was not. It took some more life experiences for my faith to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that I seen God bring me up out of a dark pit and place me in a place where I know He has His hands upon me. I can't waver. I gotta stay strong no matter what it looked like. It looked like a train wreck. The train done came off the track, but I know God got me. And I just have to trust Him in everything I do. And that's what I try to teach my children. That's what me and my husband, We encourage each other, you know, through them hard times. You just got to keep trusting God no matter what it looked like.
And I'm telling you something, guys, that is so important for you to stay connected to people of God. It's so important. So just say for sake of argument, maybe you don't really know who God is. Well, get with somebody that does so that they can help you get through whatever it is that you're struggling with, because it's so important to stay connected to that source, that power, that strength. Guys, I'm telling you.
That's right.
I'm telling you. So, who is Jesus to you?
He's my everything.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
He's my everything. Now that, you know, it's almost 2 years that I lost my father, you know, and I never, you know, you hear people say Jesus would be a mother and a father to you. Well, I'm mother and fatherless, so he is that to me. And I really, during the illness of my dad and taking care of my father, you know, I really saw God move in ways that I didn't really, you know. If any, and people know my dad, you know, people I grew up with. My dad, you know, was well known in the town where I was at. You know, not in a bad way, but he was well known for a job, police officer, and all that other stuff. But my dad, you know, he wasn't the most easiest person to get along with, you know, because that was just him. That was who Andrew was. But Andrew, he loved hard, but on the outside, he wasn't really going to show you that. He would do it in his actions. So, you know, watching my father transition, like I watched my mother transition, it was humbling to me, you know, because my dad wasn't there all the time, but for God to give me the strength to go back and take care of my father, that spoke volume to me right there. At that time, I didn't understand it, but I had to put away the selfish part of Tamara and humble myself and take care of my father.
And that's what God will do. God will put you in positions and situations that will help you to grow so that you will get closer to him. Because that's really what it's about. Throughout all the challenges that we go through, it's all about getting closer to him to help us get through it. And when we get through those challenges, we can help other people get through those challenges, get through their challenges. That's what life is about. So I'm going to ask you this last question. What advice do you have for people who are going through similar situation that you and I've been through? What advice would you give them?
The advice that I would give you was, one, don't be so quick to medicate yourself off alcohol and drugs. You know, God is there if you want him to come in. The scripture says that if he knocks, but you have to open the door. So you got to open the door of your heart for God to come in. You got to be willing to be transparent. And one thing that I can tell you is grief is in 5 different stages. You might be mad one day, happy the next, sad. You know, grief is of all different stages. So it's all different emotions mixed up in it. But just know that God, if you cast your cares upon him, he'll be the one to help you through it.
Yes, he will.
I mean, there's nothing else that I can tell you but just to lean on the strength of the Lord. Get around good people that's going to help you and uplift you, not bring you down.
And you know, and I'll add, if you are dealing with a situation like this, please, 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 let somebody know. Because you really may be at the place where you might need some counseling. So, and don't be afraid of it. You know, some people say, you know what, I can't talk to them, they're quack, whatever the case may be. No, that's not always the case. Because a lot of times you really need to get what's in here out. Because what's in here is what's keeping you stunted, what's keeping you from moving, what's keeping you from going forward, from reaching your goals. So you have to get that stuff out. That's the first thing. And the next thing, like Tamara said, you got to trust God. So I really encourage you, you know, if you're not connected to a Bible-based church, please get connected to one. Reach out to them, start attending, you know, start reading and all that stuff, because the word of God is what's going to also help you get through whatever struggle you may be going through. I'm a witness, guys. God will help you get through it. You really will. So I hope you guys really take hold of this. Tamara, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
It has been a pleasure. We have learned a lot about how to overcome, well, actually what grief can do and how to overcome it. I thank God for you, Tamara, for coming on and allowing us to talk with you and open up. It has really been a blessing. Guys, I just want to tell you, if you want to reach out to Tamara, you can reach out to her on her Facebook page, on her Instagram page. You can reach out to her through the social medias, all that cool stuff. Listen, if you want the popcorn, it's bussin', as y'all young folks say. It's good. Reach out to her, put your order in, and I'm telling you, she will make sure it happens. Guys, I mean, there's so much good things happening. You want to reach out to me, you already know where I'm at. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that cool stuff. Reach out to me. And also, too, if as you can see, Tamara has one of the new Decide, Commit, Resolve t-shirts on. Guys, if you want one, inbox me. They're going 14 a piece. Listen, this is outstanding, guys. I am truly, truly humbled and thankful for what we are getting ready to embark on. So this has really, really been a blast. Our next topic, I'm going to put that out soon, what it's going to be and who our guest's going to be on here. And also, guys, we want to lift up our sister Shakee Jane. She was supposed to be on the show. Her kids got sick. So I just want to lift her and her family up in prayer. Shakee, love you. God bless you, sweetheart. But guys, hey, I'm so thankful. I'm pumped up. It's been good. It's been hot. And I'm telling you something. I want to end this with my quote. I'm going to end all my shows on the shop with a quote. And my quote of the day is, my motivational thought of the day is, the struggles you will face in life, face them with confidence and faith and watch them move. Guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Decide, commit, and resolve.
Everybody! It's time for the shop.